This has been accompanied, of course, by a massive increase in the number of people who are homeless. 4 years ago, the city spent $440 million on what it called...
He's talking about Los Angeles.
That was supposed to fix the problem. Did it? Homelessness in Los Angeles jumped 15% just last year. So this year, LA will spend more, close to $1 billion.
Open border sanctuary state.
As for the small businesses crushed by the city's lunatic COVID restrictions,
that's what happens.
They get $62 million total. The city's gang reduction program gets about half that. So politicians in Los Angeles are, at the very least, very clear about their priorities. What has this done to LA? We don't have to look far to see the answer to that. Last week, a homeless man walked into a furniture store on the west side of Los Angeles and murdered a graduate student who was working alone there. He stabbed her to death for no apparent reason and then walked out. He's still at large. She was 24, now she's dead. Today, her father told Fox and Friends that he holds city officials responsible for the killing.
Absolutely. Governor Newsome and the mayor.
Now is that everybody seems to be oriented on giving back rights and bestowing favor on people that rob others of their rights. We should be celebrating the good in people and trying to recognize that that's the job they have, is to try to elevate that, to make communities better, to make people care more, to not tear down communities by exposing them to people that are falling out the bottom, that really don't care about the other human beings and just think they can do whatever they like in our society, and they are doing it more and more in every community.
Pretty composed for a man who just lost his child. He's absolutely right. Focusing our attention and our money on people who contribute nothing, who only detract from the project that is this country, don't help their communities or anybody's community, who hurt other people, who live solely for themselves, who are a danger to the rest of us, that's insane. And so that girl died, and she wasn't the only one. Last month in Los Angeles, a man called Carrie Bell murdered a 70-year-old emergency room nurse. She was on her way to work, one of the people we should be celebrating. Now she's dead. Who's the man who killed her? Well, Bell had a long criminal record. He had a prior arrest in LA. He had arrests in other states as well. But authorities let him go and kept letting him go. Bell was homeless. He was a victim. He was part of a protected class. And then he killed somebody. Here's Fox LA's report on that.
Days after a brutal attack at a Union Station bus stop, a beloved nurse lost her life. Sandra Shells worked at LA County USC Medical Center for decades, where she was highly respected and revered. Shells was allegedly assaulted Thursday morning by a homeless man, now identified by police as 48-year-old Carrie Bell. They say he hit Shells for no apparent reason, the force knocking her to the ground and fracturing her skull. Police say they found him sleeping nearby about 90 minutes later and arrested him without incident.
She was an emergency room nurse walking alone to work. And now she's dead. Another woman murdered by the homeless. And don't lie to yourself. No one in LA is ever going to do anything about it.
No.
You're probably going to hear outraged noises for a few days. Harumph, harumph, harumph. But politicians will quickly get back to showering the unhoused community with another $1 billion. What you're watching here is civilization collapsing in real time.
Exactly.
Here's video our producer shot in Los Angeles in the spring of 2019, almost 3 years ago. It shows homeless encampments downtown on 3 separate blocks. It starts at 5th and San Pedro, and then it goes west, seemingly forever. So in January of 2020, the LA Times reported that, quote, California's railroad tracks are now lined with men and women sleeping in tents or under cardboard boxes. In America, by the way. Well, in response to this, Governor Gavin Newsome announced another $12 billion in state funding to, quote, fight homelessness. How'd that work? We'll hear the results.
Skyfox. The images are startling. Thousands of empty or damaged packages lining the tracks along the Union Pacific LA Railway. Amazon packages, UPS boxes, all meant for delivery to customers along the West Coast. They're opened by cargo thieves who take advantage of the trains stopping or slowing down to break into the containers. Union Pacific officials saying they've had a 160% increase in cargo thefts in the LA County area, with over 90 containers broken into every day.
So I guess they didn't clean up the railroad tracks. $12 billion.
Borders wide open. Shit, they run back to Mexico with new television, stereos, everything they want.
outside in public places and use drugs outside in front of our children is both the cause and a symptom of growing disorder and chaos. It's the degradation of what holds us together as a civilization. So our producers are back in LA right now, shooting a documentary for season 2 of our Tucker Carlson original series on Fox Nation. It's going to be out soon. You're seeing some of the footage on your screen right now. What you're seeing now was shot this morning on Skid Row. Skid Row in LA is a 50-block neighborhood east of downtown. And it's hard to overstate just how dystopian it is. You should go for yourself sometime and drive through, roll them up. But watch. You will not believe this is America, the country you grew up in. This is what California got for $12 billion. Not fewer homeless, just better funded homeless, and thousands more of them. So like COVID and OxyContin and virtually everything else that's wrecking the country our ancestors built, this is a manufactured crisis.
Exactly.
It didn't happen by accident. People paid for it. In New York, officials have given drug